are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, June 30th. Looking forward to a new episode of our LaunchPad webinar series. I'm accompanied by Amalia, who's back from she was away last week. She was very sick, so I'm glad you're back.
Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's webinar.
Excellent. So just to begin, I wanted to do a bit of a dry run or an audio test, sorry. And if you can just kind of let me know via chat that you can hear us, that'll be great. Just an audio test, letting us know through chat that you can hear Amalia and myself. That will be great. Okay, there we go. Thank you. All right. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Mark. Oh, excellent. Okay, so let's begin. It will be a bit of a short one this week. With the holidays, the national holidays in Canada and the US, it seems that, and also with the summer holidays, it seems that everybody is, it's a little bit on the summer mode. So we'll get started. We'll make it short, but a lot of good information this week. We're going to be talking about latest news and articles. Some this week, it's a little bit different than last week. Last week was very Google driven. Google just came out with a number of news items and related articles that do somewhat have an impact in our industry. So if you did miss last week's webinar, you can always go to our online channel, youtube.com/WSILM. And this week is a little bit more of a mix. We have a bit of everything. And we'll be talking also about some mobile-friendly website, a mobile-friendly website checklist. If you are in the process of working with your clients in developing a new website redesign with responsive web design per se, specifically actually, there are some simple tips that you should keep in mind when doing this and making sure that the development team that you're working with follows or has this checklist with them. If you are converting an existing desktop website to a responsive, again, some simple tips and recommendations on how to properly do this. So that's something we're going to talk about today, as well as questions. There's also another article that we'll talk about in regards to schema markup, which I found it very interesting, which we'll spend a little bit of time on it. But to begin, let's start. And one of the things that is happening this week is last week, if you recall, I talked a little bit about Thumbtack and their penalty that had been issued by Google, and it was interestingly enough that Thumbtack is a Google capital funded company, and in the past Google has already penalized companies that belong to Google, right? So their own companies. In this case, it was a little bit different, a little bit controversial. Just wanted to share this piece of news with you. Basically, Thumbtack had a link penalty, and apparently it only lasted a week. So basically, after Thumbtack did confirm that they were penalized for their link unnatural links, within a week they actually are now back up in the rankings, and this has generated a bit of I don't want to say mutiny, but a bit of criticism from the SEO community because they're calling it unfair. If anybody gets penalized, usually it takes us weeks and months to get it fixed. But in this case, why is Thumbtack, a Google capital funded company, ranking back on top so fast? Right? They were re-indexed, re-ranked, and all of a sudden it's as if nothing happened. So less than a week later, this company sees themselves back in the good graces with Google. So some of the questions that have been raised by some of the SEO specialists around the world is it fair? Right? The SEO and webmaster community are saying, most manual actions take months to recover and rebound from, but in this case, it took less than a week. Okay. So that's one of the things that they wanted to kind of find out. And obviously, there's no comment from Google, no comment from Thumbtack. So there's some iffiness and some strange things happening over there at Google in regards to this. The only thing that I can tell you, just based on this article on Search Engine Land, was that um, although they didn't seem to disavow any links or take any additional measures to remove the banned links, what they actually did do was they ask all these unnatural links or all these businesses that had these backlinks to them to nicely remove them or no follow the link. So they kind of did some of the work, but typically I know that we've had situations where it takes us about 4 or 5 weeks sometimes to kind of get some feedback and basically try to remove a natural link. So it was a little bit of a unfair deal, quote unquote, because of the fact that okay, just because Thumbtack is a Google capital funded company, yeah, they get penalized, slapped in the hand, and all of a sudden within a week they're back in good grace. So a little bit of controversy there, a little bit of noise coming on from the SEO community. So I wanted to share that with you. We'll keep you abreast on what's happening in the coming weeks. But you would think that they wouldn't bounce back so fast, but they did. So anyhow, there you go. You can interpret that as it is. The other thing that we wanted to share with you was our usual monthly search market share. And I know that I have another article somewhat related to this, as well as Amalia in regards to Bing and Yahoo. And if you see, nothing has changed. Since the last time we spoke, even April or even in March. In reality, there hasn't been a big change. And the only thing that you can say is that okay, there was a 0.1% drop for Google sites in regards to their market share or their domination in the market. And this is basically mostly focused on desktop, home, and work locations, where you see Google really has about 64.1% of the market share. So they still remain at 64%. Microsoft did gain 0.1 percent, so that's positive. Yahoo stayed the same. Also, AOL did gain 0.1%. It does equate to thousands and thousands of 0.1% does equate to thousands and thousands of users, but primarily, you know what, no major change in the market. Wanted to share that with you in case you want to be updated in regards to ComScore's results for U.S. desktop search. Now this is only for the US, okay? It's not global, basically just for the US alone, and it's just for the desktop. Um, so we'll keep you posted. Hopefully by next week I can get some screenshots for the rest of the world, as well as any other findings from ComScore. So we'll keep you posted with that. But as it falls today, as it is today, no major drastic changes in the search market share. Okay, excellent. Um, One of the things that we did want to talk to you about was that Microsoft signed a 10-year deal for AOL to use Bing's ads and listings. Now, this is a little bit, it is somewhat significant more important for Bing, right? A bigger win for Microsoft than it is a loss for Google, because in the past, I would say probably 12, 13 years, this spot or the ads and listings on AOL actually was the deal actually belonged to Google, and all of a sudden, after actually it was 10 years, 10 years ago, they actually needed to redo this contract. And now they have a 10-year agreement for Bing to provide search listings and add to AOL, and Google is out, right? So Google did lose out this contract that they held since 2002. So as you can see, it's been about 12, 13 years that they've actually had this deal with AOL, which is important because it had to do with ads and listings and revenue, right, coming in there from the Google network, right? So definitely back in 2002, Google was growing. They were up and coming. AOL had substantial search traffic. Now, if you go back, they only have 1.2% of this. Just looking at these stats for desktop search market, they only have 1.2%. Whereas Google has 64. But if you were to look back in 2002, you know, AOL definitely had a substantial search traffic. So it meant a lot for Google to really have this deal in place. However, they lost out, and they no longer have it. And now, you know, AOL has actually given the rights to Bing. Now, what does it mean for Google? Nothing major. I mean, when you look at the end of the day, it's not a great loss for them, specifically in the US, but it could be a bigger win for Bing, because as you recall, Bing's kind of been working in the past year to gain market share, so they're kind of being a little bit smart about it. I don't think they'll ever hit, you know, probably 35 or 40%, but they are moving, specifically after they had lost. So if you recall, also both Microsoft and Yahoo are kind of, you know, fighting for, you know, the leftovers, or the rest of the search market share. So it is something to keep an eye on. So Microsoft did sign this 10-year deal for AOL. There isn't anything special other than the fact that obviously, you know, they're going to have all of the ads and listings on AOL.com. So it is a profitable no a profitable venture for AOL as well as for Bing. The other key thing about this is that obviously, if your clients are you know, they're using Bing as a paid search engine or a paid search service, you can then now, you know, most likely be able to serve your ads on the AOL network. So we'll see what happens in the next few months. But I just wanted to share this new deal that just happened between Microsoft and AOL. Again, unfortunately, it comes at a time where Google really dominates 65% of it, so there isn't really a big a big loss for them. Okay, Amalia, another news regarding Bing. Oh, I think I lost Amalia. Amalia?
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Sorry there. I was listening to everything and I was speaking, but I guess nobody could hear me, so my apologies, but I am here. Basically, I want to share another announcement. Bing has announced that it's added an audio to its homepage. With that, the sound is basically it's muted by default, but the new audio option can be played by a small icon that is now placed at the lower right corner of the screen, using basically footage. Right now they have footage of geese taking flight. Bing search blog highlighted how users can now turn on sound for the homepage with an audio icon located once again at the lower right corner of the screen in line with the video controls. Bing did note, stating the following, that over time they have evolved in the way they try to sell stories, like, you know, throughout the world. Back in 2011, they did release the first HTML5 video homepage. The following year, they enabled users to dive deeper with an interactive panoramic homepage. Then Big noted that their fans shared what they wanted to, basically what they loved to hear, whether it was rushing waterfalls, distinct animal calls, or waves lapping the shores of faraway beach. And basically they've implemented this. The audio option is turned off by default and will not necessarily be part of every homepage. The announcement also notes that users should look for the audio icon to find out if the sound has been included for the day. Bing has asked for feedback, and if there's anything they want to hear, basically just send them a link of what, you know, feedback as to what you would like to hear. Armando, did you want to add to that, or can I just move forward?
Uh,
I believe I
no,
can move
no,
forward.
yeah, no, I'm here. No, no, yeah,
I'm
you know,
sorry, I was
yeah,
so
no, I
fast.
wanted to, yeah, it's okay. I wanted to share with the group their sound, but it looks like
Sure.
not, it looks like still. No, one of the quick questions, I don't know if you were to find out, do you have to be signed on to Bing to listen to the audio? I mean, it's or can you just um,
That's a good question. I'd have to find out, but I think if you just go onto the, like, you know, if you do
yeah,
www.big.com,
yeah,
I think it does bring you right to that page and it'll give you the option at the right-hand corner. But it is something I'd have to look into.
okay.
Yeah,
From what it
yeah.
sounds, it's you also mentioned that it doesn't. Here, I'm just trying to share my screen now. You know, I'm trying to look for it from my side, but I guess you're saying that it doesn't always show it, right?
That's right. They did say that with any of the pages, like, it's not always there, and that's why they did indicate that, you know, it won't be part of every home page, but it will for a few. Like, I just logged in right now, and I went to bing.com, and right now I don't see the default for the sound, so it's not going to be for every home page
Okay. So I
based
guess,
on their statement. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So I guess Bing just kind of doing a bit of creative. creativity for their homepage to
That's
see,
right. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay, excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, you can move on.
Okay, great. The next article I did want to share, and it was recent news that we came across. Yahoo basically had signed a deal with Oracle to track new users via Java installs. Yahoo hopes to basically repeat the success of last year's Mozilla Firefox partnership that they had, which grew its search share in the US. So it seems that Yahoo's latest move to increase the search share and user base is a new partnership with Oracle that lies Yahoo to the new Java software installation. Basically, Yahoo's CEO announced the agreement last week. The spokesperson basically tells Search Engine Land that it's a 3-year deal. However, the company did decline to share its financial terms of partnership, no surprise. They have indicated that when the desktop users download and install Oracle's Java software, they will now be asked if they want to set Yahoo as their homepage as a default search engine. The checkbox for the invite is turned on by default, which allows basically Yahoo to be added to a number of new users without them even noticing. So that's an advantage. Yahoo scored big gains in the search share last year after it replaced Google as a default search engine for Firefox web browser. Unfortunately, Yahoo did eventually lose some of the users that did go back to Google. However, .com scores May 2015 estimated shows that Yahoo had a 12.7% of the U.S. desktop search market, which is significant improvement from last year's low time. Basically, they had a very low percentage last summer. So it has increased throughout the duration. For Oracle, the Yahoo partnership replaces a deal with IAC and its Ask.com search engine. Did you want to add to that, Armando? Or
No, the only thing is that obviously with this move, Yahoo also being very proactive in trying to gain some of that market share, right? But interestingly enough, when they did do last year's Mozilla Firefox partnership, and we talked about it throughout I think, yeah, that they did gain, and then afterwards, people actually went back to Google as their homepage as a default search engine, right? So it is something that we will see right now. It can be. I don't know how many people will actually click on the install or when they click on the install and they're downloading it, they will actually take action to say Yahoo as their homepage. But I'm pretty sure they'll be testing it out. And like you said, it's a 3-year deal. Uh,
mm-hmm,
One of the positives about all this is that when you compare Yahoo's results from last year to this year, they're in a much better shape in regards to the market share because they had lost much more, right? So,
exactly.
so it's good. And let's see how that pans out for Yahoo. But the search engines are being very proactive in regards to always keeping on top, being creative ideas to continue on that search or domination or at least uh, gaining ground for market share. Okay,
Yeah, that's
thank
right.
you, Amalia.
Great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, we did have a question, and you know what? Maybe Amalia, you can help me with this one. Just give me a quick second because I don't have the answer in front of me, but we can definitely look into it. So, it was a Bob. It's a question from Bob in regards
Sure.
to the plugin. So just make a note of that. Bob, we'll get back to you. Um, I'll look
Sorry,
into
can
the
you get,
questions.
Unfortunately, I can't see the question. What was
Yeah,
Bob's question?
I'll touch base with you on it offline, but
Okay,
just make
sounds
sure,
good.
yeah, because this one may require a little bit more research in regards to and for some reason the questions are not coming up, so that's why one of the issues that I'm having right now.
Yeah,
But
same here.
yeah, we'll get back to you, Bob, as well on that point. Okay, moving along then. The one of the other things that we wanted to share with you is in regards to proper use of schema markup. Okay, and as you know, and we actually use it at ALM specifically in our adaptive SEO strategy. But again, like anything, sometimes that Google brings out, people or users or black hat SEO practitioners always take advantage of the situation. In this case, what they've done is actually I started using the markup, the schema markup in a bad way, where it's spammy. So what Google has done is really started tackling this usage or negative usage or spammy usage of the schema markup. So I wanted to share with you this interesting article. As a matter of fact, one of the things that Google has begun to do is issue penalties for improper implementation of structured data markup. Now, typically, this is part of the technical SEO component of adaptive SEO, right? So that we practice. So if you are a bit technical and you kind of like to add the schema markup on your own or for your clients, so let's say you have a web developer that's doing it for you and they automatically add the schema markup, then you just have to be very careful on how that structured data markup is added to a website and where it should be. Okay, now just to kind of go back in regards to schema markup, why the use of a schema markup the technical side is that it can be a great way to improve search engine content discovery, indexation, and organic search visibility, because pretty much you're kind of giving the bots or the crawlers more information about your website. So definitely they have an easier way of crawling and identifying relevant content. So there is that aspect of content discovery that's very relevant. Indexing is very key, and also obviously that whole component of organic search visibility. So some structured data markups feed into Google's knowledge graph, and from time to time you may see that even some of your clients information may get into Google's knowledge graph, and they will appear in local results and generate rich snippets. So all of these things are actually very good for very positive from an organic search visibility. So that's why we also practice schema markup, and the type of schema markup that we practice is what we call local schema markup, which is really to optimize websites more so on the local level, right? Now again, in March 2015, Google updated its rating and reviews rich snippets policies, and stating that these snippets must be placed only on specific items and not on category or list items landing pages. So again, they usually work very well, at least the rich snippets work very well for e-commerce or for any product databases that you have. If you are using very detailed rich snippet to highlight products, right? So again, the one that we use is mostly for the website is more of what we call local schema markup. But if you're very keen on feeding more information to Google and generating these rich snippets, just make sure that that you're doing it properly, right? Because based on the recent quality update that Google launched or implemented, many sites have been hit by this structured data penalty. So we'll move on because it's a little bit technical. So here's an example of what a manual structured data penalty message would look like. And if you are using schema markup, make sure that you are checking your webmaster tools, or what is called now your search console, because if your client's website is penalized, you will see the notification on the search console. And again, if you look at this message, it reads, markup on some pages on the site appears to use techniques such as marking up content that is invisible to users, marking up irrelevant or misleading content, and or other manipulative behavior that violates Google's rich snippet quality guidelines. So one of the key things that we do recommend, and obviously the author of the article recommends as well, is to make sure that you are auditing your schema markup implementation. So if you do, if you have a developer that's launching a new website, and sometimes developers, to help, they will often add different components, and if they know a little bit of SEO, they know that obviously schema markup can be positive, but they just have to do it the proper way. So to avoid any penalty, one of the things that I would recommend is always keep a lookout on your webmaster tools console or search console, so that way you know that everything is running smoothly, and right away you'll see that as soon as you log in, you'll see if there's any notifications from Google in regards to that. Okay, so how do you avoid these markup penalties? So here I've shared a couple of and I'm actually going to, if you just give me a quick second, I'm actually going to put this on the on for everybody to review. Oops, for everybody to review to see. Um, just give me a quick second here. This is again, it's a little bit technical. It's only for those ICs that are very interested in learning more about schema markup and how to properly do it. Basically, there are two guidelines and policies that two links that I share here for everybody. If that pretty much details how to properly do this. And the other one, so if you are looking at adding your own schema markup, if you are technical IC, make sure that you follow these guidelines. These policies also have been recently updated, so make sure that you go through them, how to properly put them or add them to your site, implement them to your site or to your client site. And number two, if you don't know, follow up with a production team. You know, if you have any questions, you can definitely send us the questions directly to myself or Amalia. We'll get our team to do a bit of review. I will tell you, I'm not an expert on schema markup. I just kind of understand the concept behind it, but definitely our SEO team can provide some insights if you have some questions, right? So it's better to even ask before you implement. The other key thing about it is that if you're doing it yourself, Google has also developed what they call a structured data testing tool, or a Google structured data testing tool, which is found on the developer's website. So, and it's a very easy to use tool. Just give me a quick second. We'll share it with you as well, and we'll also share I will also share the website for you to review. Just give me a quick second. I'm going to share the URL, and as you can see here in the screen, what you will be doing is pretty much grabbing the page where you're going to add the schema markup. Definitely just add the content. You can do it a various way. You can either just fetch the URL, or you can just actually copy and paste the HTML, and then number two, you click to validate it. So it's very simple. You copy the HTML from the page that you are adding the markup, right? And you put it in here, you paste it in here, and you validate it. So it's in here. Obviously, it will show you. I wasn't able to get an example of one. Maybe on next week I'll try to get an example of how that works. But it's a very easy to use tool. I would definitely recommend, if you are planning on doing this on your own, or have a developer, a third-party developer, or your own developer in-house that's doing this, just to double check that it's done properly. So I just added the link there. And the reason being, again, is because sometimes we're trying to help our clients and give them the best the best techniques, and sometimes we have to definitely follow the right way of doing it. So, read the guidelines, make sure that you are following the specific proper way of doing it, proper way of implementing. So follow those guidelines and policies for structured data. Number two, test it with the structured data testing tool. And number three is obviously monitor that in the Google Search Console, or Webmaster Tool. So it's very important that you follow up with that. Keep an eye on that to make sure that uh, uh, um, uh, that is relevant, and that you're keeping an eye on it. Okay, so that's an example. So Mark has a question. Can you show an example of a local schema markup such as a landscaper? Okay, Mark, unfortunately, I don't have the answer in front of me, but I can definitely have, I actually got a hold of all the questions. I can have Amalia follow up with you definitely this week, and I'll have the team pretty much provide that for you, okay? So we'll do that for you, okay? And sometimes, you know what, I did try to bring some examples. I just wasn't able to get some examples from the team today, but definitely we'll try to share some with you next week or via email. Is there a schema markup that is relevant to any and all sites, or only to specific verticals? Typically, there are different types of schema, and the one that, there's schema, particularly when you're looking at products and, like I said, databases or e-commerce. The one that we usually use the most is the local one. So again, Mark, I'll have Amalia just send you some information about that. Um, Excellent. So moving along then, great questions. Thank you for sharing that with us. We'll definitely get you those answers. We'll learn all of us together as well. So again, if you're using this, make sure that you don't do it in the wrong way that can negatively impact your client's website. And then what I wanted to share today was something that I also found on Search Engine Land, which was an interesting recommendations and articles from a recent study that was done by what they call a local university hangout on a mobile and local. And also local and search analytics experts. And basically, we all know the growing importance of the mobile search and mobile site design. I mean, preaching to the choir. But sometimes what happens is we just make we tend to just think about mobile as a responsive web design, right? Which is particularly correct. But in this case, in this insight, what they wanted to make sure in the study that they found was they wanted to make sure that you have to not just assume a responsive website fixes everything, but that you have the right information, right, on the website, right, and that it is laying out properly. So one of the things that you can do if you are in the process of developing or having a team convert an existing desktop website to a responsive website is run it through this Chrome's mobile emulator. Right now, it is a tool that Google provides, and it does take a little bit of time to kind of go through it. So I kind of share some links here that I'm gonna also paste on the chat. So you just want to double check, do a bit of a checklist to make sure that everything is running fine. Because what ends up happening sometimes is that um, you know even though with responsive web design, pages automatically adjust based on the device's screen size, you want to make sure that uh, they are um, working properly. And in some cases, you tend to find pages that are super long, and people are not, they're not going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. So you may have to tweak a little bit of the design for the mobile devices or a or any other type of handheld devices or tablets to make sure that the layout that it lays out properly, right? So this Chrome emulator that has been developed definitely gives you that benefit of checking if everything is working fine under different mobile devices. So I'm going to paste this, and this is definitely important as a user yourself for any of your clients. Just give me a quick second that you do double check. I mean, I know that the teams the teams do go through this, but again. I would not just leave it to the production team. I would also be proactive in the sense that you also want to make sure that it does meet your client's needs. And in this video, you will definitely find a little bit more about um, about the proper way of uh, of um, of testing. It is a bit of an extensive, so you don't have to do all of the tests. Just go through the top key areas, but it does give you a lot of good advice, okay, on how to properly test the site. I wasn't unfortunately able to do it here just because it takes a little bit of time, so it's not like a 30-second review and there you go. It does take some time. As a matter of fact, the second link that I provided is actually a video on how to do it properly. But it's definitely one thing that this group of experts provided some feedback on, because sometimes they can be pitfalls if the responsive website is just created, but it's not created properly. Okay, so it has to follow specific user-friendly tactics, I guess, or user-friendly modalities, so that way it can be done properly. So that's number one. So make sure that don't just rely on the production team to create a responsive website. Double check it. Okay. Number two, for getting what people are really looking for on mobile. So you also have to make sure that you provide the relevant information to customers on the move. So again, making sure that in your homepage, your mobile homepage, you're providing the right information, right? That will be anything from telephone number, hours of operation, any promotions or specials. You want to make sure that your mobile website pages are actually providing the right information. In some cases, this group of experts recommend that you check to make sure website pages actually there's a location finder. Okay, and the way to test this is to do a branded mobile search for your business. So that means that you with a mobile device you look for your 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 business or your client's business name, and once you get there, you make sure that you the top results are truly mobile friendly by testing them for any device. So again, you want to make sure that the metadata is done properly for your homepage, right? You want to make sure that it's displaying properly. And the second thing is you want to make sure that when you open up the first page, it displays the proper information, the right call to actions, right? I've seen some mobile friendly websites or even responsive in that case scenario where it's just all text, no call to actions. I mean, yeah, it is responsive because it fits into the device, but you can't forget about the marketing side of it and the ease of use for the users, right? That user ability and that user experience. So make sure again that the relevant pages that you want to showcase critical information are designed properly. Again, don't leave it to the production team because programmers, they'll just look at it from a programming perspective, and you have to look at it also from a marketing perspective. And then the other thing is missing the mobile traffic details. So this is something that I believe that many ICs are already incorporating into their reporting, right? And that is the fact that you want to start tracking mobile traffic correctly. So if you log in, so the recommendation from the panel of experts or the insights was that obviously create a separate report, and it doesn't have to be an elaborate report because Google Analytics has a very simple to use report overview report on mobile, right? So what you want to do is basically, provide this visibility to your clients to start finding trends in traffic, right? So start adding that to your reporting as well, right? Start educating your client that this is something that it's important for them because you may realize that if they are getting, in some cases, some of our clients, we're noticing that they are getting a lot of traffic from mobile, and they are, a very they are a mobile friendly website. However, they are getting traffic, but maybe the exit rates or the bounce rates are very high. So there's something that's not being provided, right? I mean, they're getting there and they're leaving, or they're not filling out a form if there's a call to action. So again, you have to treat it very similar to a desktop experience where you want to understand what are those conversion rates, what are those bounce rates, and in some cases, I mean, if you have an e-commerce, what are the revenues, right, that are coming from e-commerce? Because there could be opportunities there, low-hanging fruit. There could be opportunities to improve. So again, part of this recommendation for your clients is to begin to, generate, reports based on Google Analytics, and you yourself start finding trends to add value. So start digging deeper into the whole aspect of how mobile users are actually interacting with your client's mobile website, right? And you will definitely find out, how what other opportunities exist. One of the things that we are working right now with, and it's nothing new, but that we're working with a few car dealers is the aspect of mobile ads, right? And paid ads, right, through Google. And the first month that we ran them, we weren't very successful, and we were cracking our head why it wasn't working properly. And because we were having lots of impressions on our ads, but we weren't getting any clicks to the website. When we went back and started testing, we realized that we didn't have the proper settings on the mobile ads, right? So once we put the mobile ads on, we begin to see more better results in regards to click-throughs, right? And now we're tracking how effective these click-throughs are, and is it worth it, to invest more money? So we're running a test right now. So the whole point of this story is that you got to keep an eye on your mobile advertising or marketing strategy, right? As well. It may be something as simple as just running Google Analytics report and sharing that data with your client, or even just doing a 3-month recon on or analysis on what's been happening on their traffic. But you got to keep an eye on it, okay? Because there are ways of of improving that, and there's opportunities. So the whole point is, don't forget to give mobile its own measurement experience. Okay, so that's what I kind of wanted to share with you today. Amalia, I don't know if you have anything else from my side. I know it was a bit of a short webinar this week. Next week we're going to have a case study to share with you. But I know that because of the holidays, we've even had a less attendance this week than the previous week. So we'll definitely ramp up our content for you next week and bring you also a case study. Amalia? Okay, so Amalia, I guess, is having some technical issues. Well, anyhow, definitely wanted to say thank you for joining us today. Short webinar. Have yourself a great week from ALM ourselves. Enjoy the national holidays, Canada Days tomorrow, and on Saturday we'll be celebrating 4th of July. And I say we will because I'll be down in Massachusetts. So definitely look forward to speaking with you next week at our ALM webinar. Have yourself
Thank you, everyone.
oh, there you are,
Oh,
Amalia.
I got back in, yes. Welcome. Sorry, thank you, everyone, and look forward to next week. Have a
Okay,
great weekend.
take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And Mark, we'll get back to you with all those questions that you had for us. So we haven't forgotten.